Welcome to LCAP Legacy, Decades of Dedication, the podcast that celebrates the incredible individuals who have shaped the heart and soul of the Lawrence County Community Action Partnership.
Each episode, we'll dive deep into the stories of those who have devoted their careers to making a difference, not just in our organization, but in the lives of the people we serve every day.
We'll uncover their journeys, explore the moments that inspire them, and highlight the lasting impact of their commitment to LCAP's mission.
So whether you're here to learn, be inspired, or simply celebrate the amazing people who make LCAP what it is, thank you for joining us.
This is LCAP Legacy, Decades of Dedication.
Let's get started with today's guest.
You're now listening to LCAP Legacy Decades of Dedication, and we are back for episode 29. And in the studio today, we have a special guest. Our special guest today is Alyssa Baxter, and she is the Health Service Coordinator, and she has been with LCAP for the past 10 years. So Alyssa, thank you so much for joining us in studio today.
Thanks for having me.
We're so excited to have you in today.
I'm excited to be here.
So take us to the beginning. 10 years ago, how did you get involved with LCAP?
So I actually heard of LCAP because my grandma, Dee, worked here for many, many years. So she was working and I had just had my first daughter and I was looking for something to do. And she was like, why don't you come over and apply at LCAP? They're hiring, they're opening up the new learning tree at Ben Franklin and you would be great at it. Go ahead and apply. So I was like, all right, I have nothing to lose. So I applied to, be a teacher's aide. And that's how I started. So then I quickly moved positions after I started with LCAP into a health assistant role after my supervisor kind of shared that I was a licensed phlebotomist and they needed help with the Healthy Homes program, doing lead testing and things like that. So I moved into the health department and then just, as I worked throughout the years, I advanced into a health specialist and then the health services coordinator.
How nice. So a nice 10-year journey and still moving and still growing and, helping our little early learners.
Absolutely.
So Alyssa, what are the most common health needs you see among our young children in our early learning programs?
So it's actually interesting to see because obviously every family is different. So you have families that come into the program and they have established medical homes, dental homes, and they're experts. They take their kid to the doctor all the time. They're up to date on everything that they need. But then we do have families that come in and we really have to help them get tied to medical homes and dental homes and kind of explain the importance of why those things are important. So we help them get tied up to those places and explain that to them. And we provide mobile dental services. So if there aren't families with dental homes, we actually provide the service right on site for them. And I think that's actually one of the most rewarding parts of the job is helping families navigate through the health system and understand the importance of overall health care for themselves and their children. Because I don't think, it's understood throughout our families. So it is a nice piece of the job. And I don't know. I feel like that's probably the biggest piece.
And then your health department, they go into the classrooms and they teach the kiddos too why it's important to brush your teeth and, the number of teeth that they do have and the proper ways of brushing so they could take that into the home too. So then they could then practice at home the same way. And I always tell all the kiddos and my daughter too, you only get one set of teeth. You have to make sure we take care of those because your teeth is your health.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When it comes down to it.
You're so right. And we have those stuffed animals with the large giant teeth.
Aww.
And we bring them into the classrooms and the kids get so excited because they're like, oh my goodness, look at their teeth. And we bring the giant toothbrush out and we help them brush teeth in there. And we also do it with germs. We have a germ kit and the kids get so excited because it's the UV light and you put the magic lotion on their hands and you shine the light and you say, oh my gosh, look at all the germs on your hands. And then you have them wash the germs off and then you shine it again and you're like, oh, you're an expert. You know how to wash your hands. Or you're like, we got to practice.
So other than brushing your teeth and like washing your hands, what are some other health related habits you think are most important to establish for a child who's entering in kindergarten?
So I think, overall, it's important what we talked about, oral health, their overall medical health. But it's also their nutritional habits are very important. Do they have access to food? Do they understand the benefits of eating, healthy choices versus, sugary options? But then also, I think, do they understand, their eyes, their ears? We test their vision, their hearing, their growth. How much do they weigh at the beginning of the year versus the end of the year? So we actually, in my team of staff, we actually conduct all the hearing and vision screens, and then we test their lead and hemoglobin. So this gives us a baseline to really understanding the child's overall health and what kind of follow-ups they need. And our screening equipment is like top of the line. We actually have gotten, local pediatrician offices to purchase the equipment that we're using because it is so efficient and effective to screen these young children who don't understand, the importance of these tests or how to conduct them and what they need to do during those tests. So.
Yeah, it is very nice equipment. I've seen them. And then, following up at the pediatrician's office, it is the same equipment. And it also makes the child feel like, oh, I've seen this before. I saw this at school, so I'm not too scared when I'm at the doctor. I know I'm going to get my eyes checked and for my vision, and I know I'm going to get my ears checked. So it's nice to have that good equipment in the same settings. Yeah. And so how do you collaborate, Alyssa, in your health department with the teachers in the schools and other service providers?
So, yeah, we actually have really good contracts with lots of different services in the community. So, we partner with different behavioral health organizations, nutritional, the local WIC office we are partnered with. We have great relationships with all the local pediatrician offices. And we really have good relationships with them, so that way we can tie our families to exactly what they need and when they need them. And we have spent many years building those relationships so that we really can make referrals and feel comfortable. And, we have that relationship with these providers to really feel comfortable when we are making the referrals, so that our families know, hey, we've put the work in. We trust these providers, these places. So that's the outside providers. But as far as the teachers, we work with them all the time. So, they come to us when they need something or concerns with different, children, whether it's health related or not. And then we kind of help tie them to exactly what they need. So if we feel a child needs a referral, or maybe a teacher needs some additional training, especially because, we have a lot of children in our program with rescue medications. So we give them training. Do you need an EpiPen? Do you need a little bit of additional training in the classroom? How to use that? So we're doing that. We're providing CPR and first aid training for the teachers. So I feel like we're always constantly collaborating and expanding knowledge and putting more tools in our toolbox, per se.
And how is mental health integrated in your health service work with children and families?
So obviously we all know, mental health is very important for adults, children, everybody alike. So we do have, a lot of connections with mental health providers in our agency. And I don't directly, work with the mental health referrals anymore. But I do know that LCAP has a great relationship with all of those mental health providers. So we are able to provide what the children need. And we're seeing more and more, children are needing these mental health referrals. And I'm happy to say, though, that LCAP is able to tie them to what they need.
Yeah, we work really closely with, Human Services Center, and for just the main office here is right across the street from them. So yeah, we also make a lot of referrals, young and old, people of all ages, because it's very important to, have a understanding of mental health and the importance of, thinking positive and ways to handle different stressful moments. And it could only be beneficial, in the as time goes on.
Right. And LCAP, the philosophy, the motto, I guess we would say, is we've always said a child needs to be well to do well. And just recently, it's kind of shifted to a family needs to be well to do well. And that really is, from head to toe. You have to be well in order to do well. So I truly stand by that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it all comes from in the home. I mean, the parents are the first teachers. You have to set that good example and just, be there for support. And our amazing teachers, they're the same too. I mean, they're just always there as a support. And I like that motto. That's very nice because it's true.
Absolutely.
It's true.
Yeah, it is.
If you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of our amazing teachers, what do you think, in your opinion, makes the early learning team at LCAP unique and special to work for?
So, I mean, of course, I'm a little bit biased because
Of
I've
course.
been here
It's
so
okay.
long. No, but I truly think that LCAP is an amazing company to work for. I truly see that the agency puts the work into our employees. We give the trainings. We offer further education to teachers and staff alike. And we really, really try to build up our staff so that they can serve our families and feel good while they're doing it. And I personally love LCAP because I started, like I said, way back 10 years ago, and it was a great place for me to send my own child. And I loved that I felt comfortable, every day I would drop my daughter off to school and I knew she was in safe hands and she was learning. Oh my gosh, the things that she learned, she was saying all her colors in Spanish by the time she was 3. So I just think it's amazing. So not just as an employee for LCAP, but a prior parent, I truly think that our company is amazing and we have so much to offer. So even if you don't need the educational services, there's so much that we could help people with. And, I've taken advantage of them myself for my own family and now as a employee.
Yeah, I always I answer a lot of the calls here. So, if somebody's not interested, like you said, maybe early learning, maybe they need transportation assistance. We could talk about ACTS. Maybe they don't need ACTS. Maybe they want to, watch sports more on our sports net.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's so many things that Lawrence County Community Action Partnership has to offer. It's important to just share that with everybody and anybody because you just never know what somebody's interested in learning about.
Right, definitely. And there truly is, I think, the more we talk to our families, the more we realize, you could really benefit from ACTS transportation or, maybe you need a referral to our food pantry because you're running a little bit low on food. So building those relationships and those connections with the families that we're serving, it's the most important thing that we could do.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you need SNAP benefits, the
Exactly.
Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. I'm always able to help. And, maybe if they don't need it, maybe they have a neighbor that needs it. So it's important that all of us here, and we do such a great job of it, educates others in the community about all the different programs and resources that we have to offer here.
And throughout your time here, has there been a moment or an occasion where you look back and you're like, this is exactly why I do the work that I do?
Yeah, I mean, I think back to, multiple things, over the years with serving different families. But one particular thing that really stands out to me, and I'm like, this is exactly why I love to do what I do, or, why I feel good using my training. I was talking about hearing and vision screens earlier, and we actually completed a vision screen on a child, and the screening result came back as a referral. So we sent that result to the family and we explained, you need to follow up with your pediatrician or a local eye doctor. And the family, followed up and did exactly what we said they needed to do. And thank goodness, because the child had a tumor in the eye. And we actually had really helped that family navigate through that because we were able to offer those early screenings. And I said, thank goodness we have this equipment and we're able to do stuff like this because we caught something very early. Now, that's not a great example because I don't want people to think that happens all the time because it doesn't. But we've helped so many families get glasses, tooth decay that's been building up for years. And if you have all that decay in your mouth, you have a very painful mouth, and you're not able to eat and be healthy. And just even things like that, we've helped them get treatment, and they're able to be a little bit better, healthier, happier. And thankfully that child is okay now. So that's great. So,
and you know what, teaching kids early too, that the dentist is a good place to be, because there's a lot of adults that refuse to go to the dentist because they've had, but maybe a bad experience, or they have anxiety about the dentist, or whatever the situation is. So teaching them little that the dentist is a great place to be, and it could only, make their life better as time goes on, because again, your teeth are everything about your health. So yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And our partnership with Golden Onsite Dental is amazing. She is phenomenal. She actually chooses to have Head Starts as, the places that she serves, because she knows that, a lot of our families are underprivileged, or they're not able to get tied up with a dental home, because a lot of these dental facilities in the local community, they do not accept state insurance. So we are at a real downside here of getting families tied up to what they need. So thank goodness for Golden Onsite Dental, because she totally makes, Head Start a priority, and she has done a lot of work for us. So we're grateful for her.
That's amazing. Yeah. So everyone who sits in your chair, we do like to ask them a question, because there is a remaining theme over this podcast, and that is legacy. And I would like to ask you, once you're done here at LCAP, what are you hoping that your legacy will be?
That's a tough question.
I know.
I'm not sure. I just want to feel like I made a difference, I think. I mean, we are working for a community action partnership here, and I really think that each year we make more and more progress and more advancements to be able to serve families, children. And I just want to look back, I think, and know that I helped people. I took a family, and I helped them to be just a little wee bit better than they were when they came to us. And I think, that's my biggest hope. Leaving here, looking back, knowing that I touched some families.
Well, that's beautiful. And I'm sure you have throughout your time here.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Well, thank you.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap up the hard questions, and we're going to make our way to the quick fire round. And how that works is we're going to ask you a series of questions, and you're just going to answer them with whatever comes to your mind first.
Okay.
Okay. You want to start?
Sure. So what is one fun fact about you, Alyssa, that most people at work do not know?
Well, I love a crisp can of Coke. Like, that makes me so happy. Opening a can of opening the can.
The best part. It really is.
And the first sip, and how it just goes right down.
I know that's silly, but man, that first sip of a Coke.
What's the last show you binge watched?
Oh no, I don't know if I want to say it. The Hunting Wives.
I heard that was a pretty good show. I haven't seen it yet, but it's a new show on Netflix.
Oh, it's a Netflix show. Okay. And then what is your weirdest but most effective work habit?
Oh, no. I don't know. Listen, I love a list, but I don't follow a list. So that's not effective. But I feel like if I have a nice gel pen, I could take the world. I could do anything with a nice gel pen.
Nothing like a nice, colorful pen set and
Yes.
a nice notebook. And
Stationery.
It just makes you feel so good about yourself and productive.
You could take on the day with a new set. Yeah.
Yes.
What is one item on your desk or in your workspace that brings you joy?
I think my gel pens.
Okay. You really love those gel pens.
I love them. If you could ask any of my coworkers, I don't use these pens. I love our company, but their pens are not to my standards. So we have to have a nice gel pen. So I buy the fancy ones, and they make me happy. They do.
Well, we know what to get you for Christmas.
Yeah.
Just some gel pens.
Yes, if we do a Secret Santa, we know. And then how do you stay motivated when things maybe are a little stressful at work or at home? Either or.
I think you just always have to try to refocus. Like, what is the goal that you're trying to accomplish? You know, it might be a tough situation. You might be stressed. Your to-do list is overflowing. But I think when you really sit down and reevaluate, like, what is the goal that I need to accomplish and how can I accomplish, and kind of set a time frame and keep yourself, on a schedule, I think that really brings you back to what needs to be done. And
like a pause and just reset. Just
Yeah.
like have a pausing moment and just get back to it.
yeah, it's okay to take a breath sometimes.
Yeah, we need it.
And what is one lesson you learned from working with children?
They are unpredictable.
That they are.
So when you think you know what's going to happen next, you definitely don't. Yeah, you don't know what they're going to say, what they're going to do, anything like that. And honestly, they say the funniest things. So I think it's so funny to just try to sit and have a conversation with a kiddo, and you're like, what, did you really just say that? You're so funny. Like, they're funny.
They're so funny. My daughter just started kindergarten. She was part of our early learning for the last few years. And she had this cute little skirt on for her second day of kindergarten. And it had like a little purse connected to it, like a little change purse. So, of course, she asked for change.
Of course.
And so I put a couple pennies in there and maybe like a dime or a nickel. And she said, I'm going to give the lunch ladies a tip today. So cute.
That is adorable.
I
so
said,
funny.
they're going to be so happy. I mean, just the things that come out.
Yeah.
I'm going to give the lunch ladies this for a tip today.
Yesterday we were loading the kids on the bus, and one of the kids said, I said, have a good night. And they said, I can't have a good night. I have to go to work. And I said, oh, okay. Well, you have a good night at work.
Kids are funny.
They are so funny and cute.
They're
Yes.
so cute. Aw. And then I have one last question here. If you were a type of coffee or a tea, what would you be and why?
Oh, a coffee or a tea? Probably like an espresso blend of a coffee, because I feel like I'm strong and bold, and, it's still smooth. You know what I mean? So I just think that, I try to stay strict and regimented and, but yet still enjoyable. I don't know.
That's perfect.
And if you weren't doing this work, what's a totally different career you could see yourself doing?
So I love like criminal justice stuff and like detective work. I would love to be a detective. I don't know, like with some crazy detective stuff, but like that might be fun.
Do you have a favorite detective show?
Oh, I like all of them.
All of them.
So you asked earlier about binge watching. So I binge watched that show, but then rewatching Prison Break. So like that would be fun. Like following those guys around. Like, what are you doing?
I could see that.
Are you going to escape jail?
And if you could describe your time with LCAP in one word, what would it be?
Memorable.
I love that.
I do too.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Well, Alyssa, thank you so much for joining us here on the podcast. You talked about how nervous you are, but you're such a natural in front of the mic.
She sure
dear.
is. I thought that too.
Yes,
Yes.
you
Very
did phenomenal.
sociable.
Well, thank you, because I do not feel like one.
Yeah, you did good.
great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us in the studio today and sharing a little bit about your story and your time here with LCAP, because it's very important for people to know what you do and, how you do it.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. It was nice.
No problem. And we'll be back next week with another special guest. So tune in and we'll see you next week.
See you next week for our 30th episode.
Woo woo.
Bye-bye.